Hi everyone, I'm John from American Eagle Plumbing. Today we're going to be replacing an electric water heater. And behind me we have a little baby 40-gallon water heater, and this water heater is from 2003. Typically that information can be found on the water heater's rating plate. And the rating plate is just an informational plate on the water heater, and it has the model, serial number. And that typically can be found in the center of most water heaters. On this particular one, it's right in the top center. This location can be either here or in the middle of the tank, or even anywhere in this kind of central location of the unit. Typically on electric water heaters, we got to shut off the power to them because they have 240 volts. So you got to go find your main breaker panel. Typically this is found here in Texas on the outside of a building. Could be on the outside of your home, or in this case it's on an outbuilding where we're at. So go ahead and open this up, and we're gonna find where it's labeled water heater. And on this particular water heater, it's already in the off position. So we're gonna go ahead and leave that there. We know it's off, it's lined up next to off. All right, the next step on our electric water heater replacement is we're gonna open up the electrical kind of panel, I guess, on the water heater. It's typically always found on the top. So we're going to just go ahead and remove these couple screws to expose the wires. Alright, so I'm just trying to expose the wires so we can have access. Typically it's held on by 3 or 4 screws depending on the make and model. Now that we have it all exposed, we're going to set up these wires so that we can actually have access to them. And we got your ground, neutral, and power. Power is kind of tucked in between these wires. So, all right, now that we got the wires exposed, we're going to go ahead and take off the wire nuts and set them aside. And I have a voltmeter, and we're going to just confirm that the power is off so we don't unnecessarily harm ourselves. So I'm going to pull this out, turn it on, and we're going to go ahead and check to make sure that the power is indeed off. And we do that by just taking our leads, so we got a neutral and a hot, and we're gonna put that on the power coming from out of the wall. So we got to make sure we got the right one. So it's gonna be this one and the white wire here. So I got no power, so that means the power is indeed off, and now this water heater is safe to work on. All right, so now we have our power completely disconnected. We'll just go ahead and set that to the side, and we'll work on that later. The next step is going to be hooking up a garden hose to the bottom of the water heater and draining it. So most water heaters, if not all of them, have a drain valve, and this is for this exact purpose. So you can take any garden hose, and you're going to hook that up to the hose thread connection here at the bottom. Typically, most water heaters have a lot of sediment. So hopefully, we're hoping that this one drains pretty good. We're just gonna open up this valve, quarter turn valve. And they're all different. Some are quarter turn, some are dials. But we got this one open, and then we're gonna go ahead and introduce air into the system, because a lot of times water heaters get airlocked. And so we're gonna just go ahead and release some of that air, and hopefully this starts to drain great. All right, so now as you can see, we got our water heater draining. It should take probably about 20 minutes at this point. And we're gonna go ahead and further disconnect the water heater so it's completely separated from the plumbing system. All right, so all we have left to do is disconnect the cold from the water heater. So this is the cold inlet, and it has a flex connector. So we're gonna go ahead and unspin this here. And that's gonna be the last plumbing connection that we gotta unhook to get this water heater disconnected. So we just finished installing the upgraded drain valve on this water heater. Most water heaters do come with a drain valve, kind of like the one that's in my hand right here. And the reason we do that is because the drain valves that come on the water heaters, they're pretty small. And the opening is, to give you an idea about the size of this Sharpie marker, as you can see, it fills about the hole right in there. And so when you have calcium deposits that are as big as my thumb, they're not going to come out of this hole. And so what we do is we upgrade the drain valve, like this valve here, to a full port size opening, kind of like the back end of this valve, so that you can get out all the sediment and the garbage that sits and builds up at the bottom of your water heater. So we recommend that you drain the water heaters once a year, and to flush them out and remove any sediment and calcium deposits that build up in there. All right, so we now have the whole water heater tied back in. We had to re-water pipe a little bit of this closet. We got a new water shutoff valve right here. This is going to shut off all the cold water to the water heater, as well as all of the hot water. And all we have left now to do is rewire this and fill it up. We're just finishing up wiring the water heater, putting the last screw in the cover plate. The water is all turned on and the system's completely full. And so the next step is we're gonna pipe in the T&P, that's a temperature and pressure relief valve, and then we're gonna go turn the power on. All right, so we've now completed the very last step. We've installed the temperature and pressure relief valve. That's this piping right here. And exactly what that does and is, it's called T&P for short. And it opens when the water heater, it's like a fail-safe. So it opens when the water heater reaches 150 PSI or 210 degrees. So it's here so your water heater doesn't blow up through your roof. So that's the importance of that, and that's piped out right outside the side of the building at a safe place of disposal. And this water heater is now complete. I'm John from American Eagle Plumbing. We are better, faster, cleaner. Hope you've enjoyed this video.